Hi, I'm Marshall. I'm the owner of Going Gear, and I'm here in our store in Smyrna, Georgia. This is the extended review of the Mecarmy IllumineX lights. Alright, so here we are with some of the different versions of the Mecarmy IllumineX flashlights. Very, very cool little light. I get a lot of samples from different flashlight manufacturers, and a lot of times I'll play with it, and they end up just in a pile on my desk. Around me are scattered probably about 100 different flashlights, and a lot of them are samples from different manufacturers. Well, Mecarmy wanted to send me a sample, and I saw it, I was like, that's kind of cool. And when I got it, I was like, okay, that's really cool. So these guys are tiny. So they're tiny little compact little lights that have two different outputs in them. They max out at 130 lumens. Very, very cool feature of them is they have built-in micro USB charging. So you take the head off, and it has a micro USB port. So this tiny little keychain sized light has something that a lot larger lights don't have. It has built-in micro USB charging. How cool is that? It takes a 10180 tiny little battery, and it comes in all these different types. So the one I have right here is my favorite. This is the copper, and this is what I'll use when we go outside. We've got brass, another very cool finish. This is a blued titanium. There's a couple more titanium finishes that I don't have. There's a shiny one. There's a matte one. You got stainless steel. You got different colors of aluminum. Same specs on all these, but man, it's kind of cool when you see a manufacturer say, hey, we're not just going to make your typical black aluminum flashlight. We're going to make it in a whole lot of different variations. So some really cool materials, all have the same performance and all that kind of stuff. There's actually some information here on the back of the packaging let's talk about real quick. So 130 lumens on max output, 8 lumens on the low. You're going to get about 30 minutes of runtime on high, 6 hours on low. IPX8, so built-in micro USB charging, still has IPX8 waterproof resistance, 1.5 meters impact resistance, and then 59 meters of beam distance. Using a Cree XPG LED, XPG2 LED, and as always, if you want the full specs, you can get them on our site, goinggear.com. So I'm going to set these to the side, but this just kind of gives you an idea of the variation that you can get with this flashlight. So you got the IllumineX, all these different versions, and again, the specs and everything are the same. You get the same features, just different body materials. All right, so here we are with the 3 different versions that I had out of the packaging. Just to give you an idea of the size, you don't really know how big my hands are. Here is a AA battery. Everybody knows how big a AA battery is. These are shorter and have a smaller diameter than a AA battery. Tiny, tiny little lights, which makes the output and the runtime and all the features and everything even that much more impressive. So I'm not really normally a person that likes to have flashlights on his keychain, but I tell you what, I made an exception for one of these. The copper one's actually been on my keychain, and I love the little thing. Even AAA flashlights are a little bit too big for me. AA flashlights are definitely too big for me to have on the keychain. I like to keep my stuff relatively minimal. But these things, they have an output much, much higher than you're going to get with any of the coin cell lights. And the coin cell lights I find kind of useless. They don't have a lot of output. You got to mess with the coin cell batteries and all that. But these things, built-in charging, nice compact size, and decent output, definitely is something I'll have on my keychain. So I'm actually going to set the brass and the titanium to the side, but let me actually show you there is a little bit of difference in the attachment points. So you can kind of see the different attachment points that you can get with the different versions. We're going to use the copper one because that's my favorite. A lot of people don't like the tarnishing. I actually really like it. This is a relatively young tarnish. When you have copper and you have it for a while, it kind of gets the look of an old penny because old pennies were made out of copper. All right, so let's look at the copper really closely. Kind of turn it around. You can see the styling. It doesn't look like there's a lot of grip on there, but these machined areas actually give you some pretty good grip in your fingers. Not a whole lot of slippage. And you've got that machining up there on the head that does the same thing. Let me show you the micro USB port up close. So there's the micro USB port. We'll actually show it charging here in a little while. And it's O-ring sealed past the micro USB port, so you don't have to worry about water or dust or anything like that getting in there. There you can see the TIR optic. You got the XPG2 LED down past that. And you kind of notice when you open up the head that the charging and everything is up here. The battery is actually on the opposite side. It took me a little while to figure out. And another thing about it is that when they come from the manufacturer, so when you get them from us and the sealed packaging and everything, there is a little plastic protection piece down in there. We've had a lot of customers saying their light's not working. We're like, hey, take the battery cap off. and look down in there. If there's a piece of black plastic in there, that's not supposed to be there. So it comes from the manufacturer just to isolate the battery so it doesn't turn on in the packaging or anything like that. You need to pop that out. Usually if you just tap it on a counter or something like that, then it'll fall right out. Otherwise, you can just get some tweezers or something to pop it out. But you do need to remove that before you can use the light. Let's actually take a look at this tiny little battery. So this is a 10180 battery. Tiny little compact lithium-ion battery. It is rechargeable. You can get a whole lot of charges out of it. But again, we do sell spares if you want to have spares. There's a look inside the battery tube. Relatively complicated light for such a small little thing. Again, we have much, much larger lights that don't have built-in charging, so it's pretty darn cool that they included it in this. And actually, you can see O-ring sealed down there on the battery tube as well. That's how you get that IPX8 rating. Let me show you the charging real quick. I'm going to go ahead and take the head back off, and I've got a Claris. Let me zoom out so you can see this a little bit better. I've got one of the Claris CH1 chargers here. These things are pretty cool. They're nice little compact USB chargers, but they also have USB out. So you can charge devices with these things. One thing to note is that there is no included cable with these lights. So you need a micro USB cable, which isn't an issue for most people. Most of us have 50 of these lying around. I probably have about 20 within arm's reach. Let me show you what's actually in the packaging just so you can get an idea. There is no cable in there. You do have a metal beaded chain, so you can use this to hang it around your neck or off a pack or wherever else you want. And then you have a split ring and you have the manual, but that's it. There is no cable in there, so you do need to have your own cable. Had to find the body because it rolled off up there underneath the pile of flashlights and batteries I had up there. Anyway, here's the body. There's that micro USB port. Here is the micro USB cord. We're just going to plug it right in, and there's a little red indicator LED that you can kind of see down in there, and that'll turn green when it's done charging. But it's pretty simple. It doesn't take very long to charge because it's not a super high capacity battery, but you do get pretty solid runtime. You know, you get that 30 minutes on high, which is very respectable considering the size and the output of this light. So that's charging on this thing. Let me show you the interface. We'll put the head back on. Super, super simple interface. I don't need to do a quick summary like I normally do because all it is you twist and you get low, twist it a little bit further, you get high. That's it. There's no hidden modes. There's no flashing modes. There's no programming or anything like that. You just have the two outputs and that's it. Twist it a little bit further, and you are good to go. So really, really cool little lights. I'm very excited about these. I actually didn't have all the versions here to show you because we sent out an email about these, and you guys bought literally every single one that we had. So I had to wait to get some more of these in before I did the video review. But they're already really popular, and you can see why. It's a very cool little light. It has some really neat features in it. That built-in charging, the nice output, the nice compact size. So in addition to that great feature set, you have some really cool materials. I am a giant sucker for cool materials. So like I said, I love the copper. It's my favorite. The brass is really neat. You got all the different titanium versions. You got all those colors of the aluminum. You have the stainless steel. Maybe we'll see something else in the future. Who knows? There's a lot of metals out there. Maybe they can do something else with some of the other metals that are on the market. Or maybe they'll take all these different metals and put them into another light. That'd be something else really neat to see. Anyway, it's nice to see manufacturers trying something else. We've got a lot of black, we've got a lot of gray aluminum flashlights, and Mecarmy has those as well. There's nothing wrong with those. It's a great material. It works really well. You can put some nice anodizing on it, make it really scratch resistant, make it look nice. But hey man, why not try something else? And they are trying something else. So that's really nice to see. I really want to see what they do in the future. These are very cool little lights. Anyway, that's my spiel on them. Let's go ahead and take these outside, and we'll show you how just the copper one does outside. All right, I just took the copper one outside since the specs are the same on all of them, and copper's my favorite, so I figured I'd use that one. Got the big 40 mag light that I always use as a control, so let's go ahead and give the mag light a try first. Tree right there is about 30 feet away. Dock house down there on the lake is 100 feet away. That's the mag light. Let's go ahead and try out that little Mecarmy. So we'll try the low output first. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but it's lighting up that tree that's 30 feet away pretty well. And then when you bump it up to the max output, you can see it lights it up even better. And then dock house down there on the lake, it makes it out there pretty well actually. You can see the lighter parts of it. I see it showing up on the camera. I'm not going to do the longer version that I always do in the extended versions of the videos. and you can probably see why. This light is definitely not made for distance, but it's tiny. It's a tiny little keychain light that puts out some impressive output for its size, but you can see it's definitely not built for distance. But the lighter part of that dock house down there, 100 feet away, still lit up pretty well. And then you can drop it down to the lower output when you do want to do more up close kind of stuff. Actually, I'll show my hand. So you can see stuff that's up close is lit up really, really well with that lower output. And then you can just do that twist to get the higher output when you need it. Alright, so there you go. That is the Mecarmy IllumineX. This is the copper one that I'm using outside, but again, they all have the same output and features and everything, just different styling and different materials. Really cool little lights. I like this thing a lot. You got the built-in micro USB charging, which is awesome for a tiny little light like this. You got the nice output, you got the really small form factor, and really high quality. They did a really good job on these. So anyway, that is the Mecarmy IllumineX. If you like them, you can buy them from me at goinggear.com. Any questions or comments, you can reach me in the comments or any of my guys at goinggear.com. As always, get going and start something. Thanks for watching.